There we go. Okay, hey guys, welcome to the Fleet Hackers tutorial video. My name is Ruben, and I'm the lead developer on the Fleet Hackers project. So, you're going to see a lot of debug stuff going around, and lots of numbers and stuff popping out. This is a experimental build designed to get everybody accustomed to how to play Fleet Hackers in VR. So there's a couple things you might want to try out first, and first is recognizing your hand and how each button on the controller is mapped to a specific hand gesture. So go ahead and give yourself a try. There are two grips on the side of the controller, and that allows you to make a fist. If you pull the trigger while you hold down the grip, you have a peace sign. These are just fun little gestures that I decided to code. The animations were already pre-made by another Unity developer that was giving the assets away for free. So getting a hand model fully animated came in really handy for allowing you to visualize and interact with the environment. So other than that, there's a couple other things we can do, a thumbs up. And I'll have little UI pop-ups that show you exactly what button does what. This is nice for pressing a button. We don't have the button presses quite done yet, and we will get to that pretty soon in our development cycle. What we just want to be able to show you for the tech exploration demo is to just be able to control these objects and move the ship around. So we'll get to that in just a moment here. So one of the nice things about Fleet Hackers is that objects in the physical world can sort of bleed into the game world. So this chair here is actually a physical chair that I put into my living room so that I can sit down and access the console as if I were actually in a starship. The controls for the ship isn't finalized yet, and you can see some debug information here that tells me where my hand offset is to the controller. So this is something that I'm working on, and will probably change into a more larger steering wheel similar to ones on the Boeing airplane. So here, this is your joystick, and it allows you to control the rotation of the ship. Right now it's all based on the velocity that you rotate with. Faster velocity means faster ship rotation. Slower velocity means a more gradual and fine-tuning. I've experimented with a couple of other ways of doing this. Like I said, the final steering wheel would be much more larger and will let you actually control the ship even more precise than you do right now. But this is a good stand-in. It's a good start. And also, you don't have to worry about your hand being at the same location. It can still rotate even if it's far away. The nice thing about VR is that it doesn't really have any physical constraints, just logical ones. So that gives you a little bit of flexibility, and you don't have to really worry about being in one place. VR doesn't have any physical properties, so everything you interact with sort of feels more dreamlike. So I'll put the chair up here a little bit. So this first thing I want to show you, well, second actually, other than steering, is the throttle. So the throttle basically increases your speed and decreases your speed. You can see where the red marker is. This is basically your park setting. You can do a reverse by pulling back. Throttle is not completely done either, but it's in a state where it's functional, which is a lot of the stuff that we try to do here, is just get things work first, flesh them out later. The next thing here on the side are the velocity speeds. I haven't finished this yet, but you can see it's kind of a proof of concept. This is another screen here that will allow you to target other ships and change the view screen of the camera. Some additional buttons to change camera modes. Some additional buttons here to change speed. Basically map a setting to the button and change speeds without having to slide up and down. Sort of like your gear that you have on your car. These buttons I'm thinking of using as a sort of a target selection system where you can change the context of this window to display various targets like planets, stations, enemies, and friendly ships. So I'm going to go ahead and fly this ship around so that you guys can see how this works all together. So I can change the speed as I'm going, and I'll navigate through this little space corridor that I've created just to get you guys to be a little comfortable with how the ship flies. So, and like I said, it's all based on velocity. He's one of the pilots on the ship. We have his model duplicated a few times because we found that it's kind of boring inside the bridge without anybody to hang out with. So by pulling the trigger button, you can move from point to point. We'll head back into the bridge before we step outside here in a second. I just have one more thing to show you, and then we can move outside and fly around for a little bit. Whoops, just clipped there. That's another bug that I haven't gotten around to fixing. So you see these weapon systems here. They all show you a weapon that's mounted on the ship. Right now we don't have a console like this prepared for it yet, but it's also in the works. By pulling the trigger there, you can fire your weapons. We hope to have auto-targeting mechanics, so you don't really have to manually rotate these, but that will also still be an option. Let's head outside here, and I'll show you guys how to maneuver around outside the exterior of the ship. Alright, so now we're on the exterior. So if you saw how that was done, I simply squeezed the controller and ejected me from the airlock there. Now to move around, you just pull both triggers and you go forward. Same thing with the steering before, except you don't really have any physical objects to grab. The steering is completely freeform, so you can move your hand around, up and down, in any direction you'd like. Gives you a little bit more freedom here. And if you wanted to dock into a ship, right now this level only has one ship, but if you wanted to dock into any ship, all you have to do is try and find the door. For fighters, you just fly right into the cockpit. For larger ships, you simply fly into the airlock and you dock back in. Thank you everyone for watching this tutorial video. I hope you guys are ready to actually try out the VR demo. Have a nice day, everyone. Oops. Let me try and get this hand thing to work here. There you go. Vape Nation, everybody. Thank you.